the second goddamn question. What the f? I wasn't even going cry today. I'm a thug. Okay. People.
I just took a DNA test, turns out I'm 100%.
Lizzo scored her first big #1 hit, Truth Hurts, back in 2019, and the following year, she took home 3 Grammys.
Thank you to the Academy, first of all. This is really f***ing sick.
And the NAACP Image Award for Entertainer of the Year. Today, the 33-year-old singer-songwriter's resume includes 3 studio albums, 3 top 10 hits, and 1 incredibly educational and inspiring TED Talk titled The Black History of Twerking and How It Taught Me Self-Love.
Through the movement of twerking, I discovered my ass is my greatest asset. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to TED Twerk.
Later this month, Lizzo will also be launching a brand new reality competition series, Watch Out for the Big Grrrls, which premieres March 25th on Prime Video.
I'm looking for dancers to join me on my tour. Girls that look like me don't get representation. Time to pull up my sleeves and find them myself.
Billed as the Battle of the Big Grrrls, the series follows 10 hopefuls as they compete to become one of Lizzo's backup dancers on her next world tour. A concept Lizzo came up with after struggling to find dancers for her 2019 performance at Coachella.
I was like, I need dancers. And at the time, my choreographer, we had an audition, and it was all these girls that had agents, and they were beautiful dancers and beautiful people, but they just didn't look like me. And I remember I was so emotional that I kind of got up and I left, and I just drove to like this little restaurant, and I sat and had a margarita, and I was like, what the f is going on? Do I have to do this myself? So I was like, we gotta do an open casting call. I know it's gonna be more work. I know these girls aren't gonna be as trained, and it's not gonna be as easy, but it's like, it's more important to me to have those kinds of women next to me on stage than to have the most technically skilled, amazing dancer that's not a reflection of how I look.
Lizzo is not only starring in the show, she's also one of the executive producers, a role she's been enjoying thanks to her years of experience wearing multiple hats.
If I had $1 for every time I had to say, I'll just do it myself, well, that's probably why I'm a millionaire, because a million times. Because, it reflects in every avenue of my career, even with like fashion and clothing. I forgot who I was talking to, but I was putting something on, I was like, what's custom? And they were like, that's so cool. And I'm like, well, I didn't always think custom was cool because it was like clothes just didn't fit me. So it was like, well, I'll do it myself. We gotta hand make it ourselves. I gotta rip it apart or put it together. And now it's like, oh yeah, this is custom, but now it's custom designer. So, yeah, I've literally always had to just pull back my sleeves. Like, I've worn every single hat and wig that there is to wear. I was my own tour manager. I was the hype woman, the DJ, the singer. I was singing backup, selling merch, driving the car, booking the hotels. Like, I've done it all. And I think that it kind of created the person I am today. I'm literally built for it. I've been in training for this my whole life. And, now this is like fun. Producing is fun. I'm like, oh, I get to look at the edits. I get to, this is better than shoveling snow. Was what I used to do.
For Lizzo, Watch Out for the Big Grrrls is a deeply personal project and promises to have plenty of heart. For example, the very first episode includes a moving moment between Lizzo and one of the dancers.
You just put goosebumps under this wig. That person in particular, her name is Charity, and she is a very special person. A lot of confidence issues, and realizing that I've been this person in her life who's gotten her to the point where she could even be like, I'm gonna be on television and I'm gonna be a dancer. And she was older, and dance seemed to be over for her. And to sit there and be like, I did it. She's proud of herself, and she said, I did it for you, like, because I needed her. And I think she recognized that I've never processed that moment because it was happening so fast. But I think deep down inside recognized I needed her, just like, she needed me. And I think that's the beauty of this show, is I'm not just being like, hey, let's have a TV show. Haha. It's like, no, like this is important to me. I would have done this with or without the cameras because I truly needed to find these special human beings, and they really are special. Like every single one of them you'll fall in love with as the show goes on. Like I'm head over heels in love with them. So yeah, that's a long time coming. Y'all made me cry on the second goddamn question. What the f? I wasn't even gonna cry today. I'm a thug.
Through her new show, and of course through her music, Lizzo is committed to promoting positive change within her industry and the world.
I think what's coming to mind right now is value, and that's what this industry is all about. It's like the dollar amount, like how much can this person generate for me in terms of money or clout or exposure. And I think that, you know, I've said this before and I'll say it again, like I and many people who look like me have been devalued and undervalued. And because of that, we don't get opportunities, we don't get representation, and we actually get shit on a lot in the media, almost as like a tool to make other people feel better about themselves in a weird way. So for me, it is about I don't have to prove to anybody that I'm valuable, but I want to show the world the value in others by giving them a platform. I had to work hard to get to this position, even when people didn't believe that I would make it here. But now that I'm here by the skin of my mother teeth, I'm about to just shine the light on these people that I believe are talented and worthy and deserving to be valued, you know, and represented. I think that's the biggest thing. I just wish that more people will see the value in fat black girls. Just say it. Like, I can't wait until we see that. I've been seeing it a little bit here and there, especially in like commercials. I've been seeing girls that look like me, and it's just so exciting. I'm like, oh yay, like, all right. Dust your shoulder off. I've heard a lot of times in auditions, they'll be like, hey, we're looking for a Lizzo type. And I'm like, that's crazy. Like, it's not even, at that point, I'm not even like, am I a part of this? I am a part of this. That's confirmation. And that's something to really be proud of.
As Lizzo fans are well aware, there's new music coming soon because she recently teased 2 new songs, Special and If You Love Me, during a pair of TV commercials.
In case nobody told you today, you're special. And if you love me, you love all of me.
As you can see, like, we are not following the rules of how albums are supposed to come out. Like, there is a rule book where it's like, you do this and then you do that, and then you're supposed to, you gotta stay relevant, and then here's the first single, and here's, it's like, the way that people fell in love with me was just by finding me through, whether it was a sync in a movie or a commercial or my social media. And I think that we're just gonna stay following the Lizzo rules because that's what works for me. I think a lot of people wouldn't put 2 major commercials out within a week of each other with snippets of songs that no one's heard before without a way to access them or stream them. But we did, because like, this is a new world, you know? So I think my music is about to just start coming out, and it's amazing and exciting to see people's reactions to it. Just don't expect anything typical, I'll tell you that much.
Don't expect any typical Lizzo songs, or the way we're gonna get it?
The way we're gonna get it. But it's hard to say because like sonically, I've never really had one sound. You know what I mean? So it's always just been me. That's the genre or the thing that's driving the music, the bells and whistles. And so, yeah, the music is a little, specifically the music is a little happier. Is it happier? It is the person that I was trying to be on the first album. She's very confident.
With Lizzo gracing the cover of this year's Women Changing the World issue, it's natural to wonder which women have changed Lizzo's world.
And we could talk about how people like Missy, people like Beyonce, and people like Queen Latifah and Lauryn Hill and Lil' Kim came and was like, and they just existed. You know what I mean? And they're like, y'all, I wasn't supposed to exist in this space. Like, Lil' Kim being in this high fashion space and still saying the things that she said in her songs. How many licks? But being this like black woman and sexually liberated and the hardest rapper on a stage full of men, like, sheesh, like that's literally building a world for someone like me to exist in. Like Queen Latifah being the multi-hyphenate, conglomerate of a human being that the queen is, from rap to singing to movies and television, producing, and literally started to build the foundation of, hey, you can do this too. Like, I don't think people realize that they're the fixtures of people's foundation by just existing, but they are. And I think that was the biggest thing I took away from how grateful I am for Missy Elliott. I'm like, you know what? This is how I show my gratitude, by going the distance and taking it as far as I can go, and showing her that she is my influence and all of the things that she had to do and all of the sacrifices she made, and the sleepless nights were worth it because she inspired a whole new generation of people who are changing the world. I think that I'm very grateful to those women and so many more. And then, of course, personally, I grew up around a lot of women, very strong women, very, very strong women in my family. And I don't think I really appreciated it at a younger age because they're just there. But I think as they start to pass on you realize, oh, I am the continuation of that legacy. And you start to kind of honor and like cherish the little bits of them that are in you. Where before it'd be like, oh my God, no, I don't look like her. But now it's like, yes, I do. I'm proud of what they left behind in me so that I can keep it going.